Now, as I mentioned in the introduction, we're also going to be looking at a tool called Gort. And this is a command line utility written by the same group, the hybrid group, that did Cylon.js. So we'll head on over to Gort.io. And you can see it's a command line toolkit, as it says there, and it allows you to interact with connected devices on your computer. Now, as you can see here in the How to Use section, which you can also get to via command line after the tool is downloaded, has support for a handful of devices, particularly the Arduino. Now you can see that scan command there, and we'll actually be using that here momentarily, but that allows us to figure out what port our computer is communicating with the Arduino on. We'll head on over to the download page to get this thing installed. Now, as you can see, there are a handful of different platforms you can use this on. I'm particularly interested in this AMD 64 version here, which I've already downloaded, so I'll go ahead and migrate to that on my file system here. For Windows, once you get it downloaded, you'll want to extract the zip file like I did, and we'll go ahead and copy this so that we can open that up in PowerShell, since, like I mentioned before, it's a command line utility. So we'll paste that in here, we'll change that directory. Then we're going to go ahead and kick off the scan command, and like I said before, that'll tell us what port our Arduino is connected to on our host computer here. Now you'll see here that I'm communicating with the Arduino on COM3. Now we need to know this for a couple of reasons. The first reason is for a Gort upload command that we're going to be running here momentarily, which is going to put the Fermata program on the Arduino board itself. The second reason is because our JavaScript application will need to know what port to communicate with the Arduino on. As we mentioned before, JavaScript does not run directly on the Arduino, but instead on a host computer that communicates with the Arduino via the Fermata protocol. Now before we can do that Fermata upload that I just mentioned, we first have to prep our machine with an Arduino install. And we just type in Gort.exe, Arduino Install. And of course that requires administrator privileges because it's actually going to go out to the web and download some stuff. So we'll close out our window here, open up a new one as an administrator, and then try it again. Go ahead and change directory back into where we were. Alright, let's try that command again. Gort.exe, Arduino Install. Alright, and there you can see it's installing WinAVR. Now it's technically pronounced whenever, but I don't think so. I look at it as WinAVR. To each their own. Tomato, tomato, fermata, fermata. And then once it gets downloaded, then it's going to kick off an executable, and it's going to actually install the WinAVR software. So we'll just go ahead and run through this wizard here, and hit I agree, and then next. Now ironically, the option you want to uncheck is the recommended option there of adding directories to path. And the reason is, with my experience, is whenever I installed this with the path option checked, it actually overwrote my system path variable rather than appending to it. So all of my applications that depend on that, and ironically Gort does as well, stopped working. Now this may be a Win10 or my machine specific issue, I'm not sure, but it was a nightmare and it took a couple hours to figure that out, so I would rather just save you the headache, and we'll manually add those paths to our system path variable here momentarily. So as this is wrapping up, you might be thinking, hey man, so what are we installing here? What this is a collection of command line tools used to communicate with the Atmel AVR microcontrollers. Sweet, so why do we care? We have an Arduino, right? Well, truth be told, if you look at an Arduino, you'll see a long chip on there, and you might be able to make out the words Atmel or ATmega or something like that. And what that is an Atmel AVR microcontroller chip. And these tools are used to communicate with that chip, and Gort most specifically depends on them. Alright, I'll wrap up this wizard here, and I'll show you a little page that just popped up. So if you're curious about using WinAVR outside of Gort and outside of Cylon and all that, you're certainly welcome to do so, and this page gives you a little manual on how to use it. Alright, now that that's all installed, if you remember, we did not select the Add to Path option, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can modify your path again to add the directories necessary that that option would have provided. So once you're in your environment variable section, scroll down again to the path variable and hit edit, and then what you'll want are these two directories here on the front. And you can see it's C, WinAVR, 2010, 01, number, yada yada yada. And then there are a couple of them there you'll want to include. This just ensures that everything will be able to run properly whenever the time comes. Now there's just one final step we need to do as part of this lecture, and then we can kiss Gort goodbye for a little while, and that is to actually upload the Fermata program to the Arduino. So we'll do a quick scan again to make sure our COM number is correct. And then we'll go ahead and kick off Gort.exe, Arduino upload Fermata, and then the COM port number. And what this does is executes AVRDude, which is one of those utilities that got installed with the WinAVR package, and that drops the actual Fermata program onto the Arduino device. And with that, our configuration is complete, and so is our lecture. So now we get into the fun stuff, so please continue on to the next lecture to get into the code demo.